Hello and welcome to the Criterion 40. I am Joe from Create Context. Today we're talking about the film Yi Yi. Edward Yang's 2000 film Yi Yi is an epic, almost 3-hour family drama following 3 generations of one Taiwanese family. Yi Yi opens with a wedding and ends with a funeral, bringing its ideas of life, death, and everything else in between full circle. Yi Yi is a beautiful movie and one that fully captures the essence of family and life. It does so with such banality and no frills. In many ways, Yi Yi feels like a much more epic movie than it actually is. There are hints of The Godfather with its long runtime and multi-generational family dynamics, but instead of a crime boss family, we simply witness the existence of ordinary individuals. One family through multiple generations dealing with love, regret, loss, and the emergence of new life itself. The film begins with the wedding of Adi. Adi is a gambler who makes bad decisions and seems to base all of his decisions on luck with little concern for the high-risk actions. He is quickly introduced as like the black sheep or kind of screw up of the family. He's constantly borrowing money from his wealthier siblings and is quick to get in over his head with bad investments and poor debts. His new bride is pregnant, and rather than learn and grow, Adi just seems incapable of maturing. After a big fight with his new wife, he ends up at the home of an ex-lover who later showed up uninvited to Adi and his wife's baby shower, quickly making a scene for everyone in attendance. Adi's story is the most straightforward in the film. He screws up, but those that love him always take him back. He has that ineffable charm that only comes from people like Adi. Even when life seems too much, Adi still tries to find a way to turn his luck around, but in the end, he can't. He can't reconcile things with his new wife. His various affairs and bad financial decisions have caught up with him, and his luck finally runs out. And that's kind of the theme of Adi's story. When you base your whole life on luck, eventually that luck will run out. NJ is Adi's brother and the proverbial rock of the family. He has 2 children, a teenage daughter named Ting Ting and a young boy named Yang Yang. His wife Min Min goes through a crisis of faith and becomes enamored with the Buddhist church. His wife's affections and her retreat into spirituality force NJ to rethink his life and career. When a happenstance reconnection with an old flame, NJ explores that old relationship. It's one of the stronger storylines in the film and one that leans into Yi Yi's themes of different life paths. NJ is, in my opinion, the most serene and thoughtful person in this movie. He always remains cool, he takes care of his children, and he indulges his wife in her spiritual journey. On a business trip to Japan, we get to see NJ's full arc and many of the film's best scenes. While on this trip, he reconnects with his first love, Sherry. NJ never fully rekindles this romance with Sherry, but he allows it to simmer for just a moment. He holds her hand while they walk across the street, he takes her to a movie, and he expresses his regret at the way things ended between them. But unlike AD, NJ is an honorable man. He's made his decisions in life. He has a wife and children at home who are more important to him than even his own happiness. A large part of NJ's trip is the meeting he has with Mr. Ota, a fellow businessman who looks at the world differently than everyone else in life. Mr. Ota is a kind man, one with integrity who values quality over financial success. These interactions between Mr. Ota and Sherry are NJ learning about himself, not just who he is, but who he wants to be. Ultimately, NJ decides to leave his company, but not his wife and child. Despite Sherry, his ex-lover's high-paying position and ability to support them, NJ decides to leave this relationship where it's been, in the past. NJ wants to be more like Mr. Ota. He wants to be a man of integrity, someone his children can look up to, not someone who focuses on the past and acts on impulse. But in the same vein, when leaving Sherry and telling her it won't work out between the two, NJ tells her he loves her, that he's always loved her. This closure comes from NJ realizing how important it is to move forward, but still be able to fondly remember the past. He has a different life, but it's one he chose, and he won't be like his brother and throw it away. Ting Ting's story, NJ's daughter, is the most dramatic of the film, but also a fulfilling, idealized version of young love. She gets caught in this kind of love triangle between her new friend Lily and Lily's boyfriend, who people call Fatty, even though he's not fat. All this happens while Ting Ting is suffering from immense guilt over her grandmother's coma. Ting Ting's story is one of young love, but also one of acceptance. She gets her heart broken by Fatty, and finally at the end of the film finds peace. It's a peace she learns from her father, from watching him come to terms with the struggles of life. It makes us wonder then what's in store for AD's child, as that child is going to grow up without the role model of someone like NJ. Yi Yi, at its core, is a story about acceptance, accepting what we can't change and living with the choices we make. AD spends the entire film trying to change his choices, trying to change his luck. He wants a quick buck, he wants to make a lucky name for his daughter, and he retreats to an old lover the second things become difficult in his marriage. Even when his mother falls ill, he can't accept it. He doesn't visit her and instead insists that she will be fine because of good fortune. The other characters in the film, NJ and Ting Ting, struggle with the same insecurities and problems as AD, but they accept their life, all the bad and the good. Rather than work tirelessly to try and change the inevitable, they decide to look forward. They forgive those who've wronged them, and they forgive themselves for their naivete. They are all one family, but with many different outcomes. A lot of films play with these same ideas and themes, but Yi does so unabashedly well. It doesn't try to hide these themes behind murder or crime or salacious affairs. It just tells the story of a family, some looking forward, some looking behind. Through the characters of AD, we see those caught in the past consistently trying to make a better future for themselves without putting in the work of reconciling with their past. But with Ting Ting and NJ, we see people looking to the future and trying to be better in spite of their past, even when it's hard and even when it hurts. We only get to see a brief part of their lives. The whole film takes place over just a few weeks, and we can't sum up an entire life in just those few moments. Yi Yi wants us to know that, even though we can't see forward, even though we only get a glimpse of other people's lives, we can still be empathetic and we can still see people grow and people become better. This is a movie that I really loved, specifically Ting Ting and NJ's story. I thought they were very resonant, and I loved watching how it all played out, watching these people become better versions of themselves in spite of any hardship that they were facing, watching them make the right choice, learn to overcome their guilt, and learn to ultimately do the right thing. Thank you guys so much for watching the Criterion 40. We will be back later with another episode. And if you like this, please subscribe. That would be super cool. The Criterion 40 is a Create Context podcast. Head over to createcontext.com for more film, reviews, and analysis. Our theme song is Hindsight by Shiloh, provided by the Riot Games Creator Safe playlist. We drop new episodes every Tuesday at 8 a.m.